Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Damn Podcast. I'm your host, Angie Machado. Joined with me, as always, is Spencer Newell, Cass Smith, and Davis Doan. You're back this week. How are you guys?
Good. We're good.
Awesome. We have a great show for you guys today. It's October 7th. We're going to talk some App State. We're going to change things up, though, guys. So we're going to talk some App State. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blueprint Sports deal that's kind of blown up over the past, 5 days. We're going to have Spencer give us a sneak peek on some more of his basketball behind-the-scenes backstories. He's actually done some really good football ones as well, women's basketball. A lot of fun stuff. But he just spent the day in Corvallis on Monday with the men's basketball team. So a little more insight from him. But I want to kick things off with a special guest we have joining us. I'm really excited to bring him on. You guys know I like to bring on players as often as I can. And so we are lucky to be joined by Oregon State punter AJ Winsor. AJ, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Well, great to see you, and I'm so glad for joining us because it's been a while. I always hate bothering you guys in season, but you have something really, really special going on. So I really wanted to bring attention to it, get it out to the Beaver Nation, because I think everyone can help out with this. But first of all, you're having a great year. The team is struggling, but you right now are ranked 23rd in the country in punting. Probably punting more than you hoped to be. But tell me about how your season for you is going.
Yeah, good. No, I feel good about where I'm at individually. I mean, obviously as a team, we want to be in a different spot, but I feel good about where I am.
Good. And how is the team morale? Because every time I've been around, you guys, and it hasn't been a lot recently, but I'm really, it's good to see that the team is still together. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I would say we're still very much together and very positive. I think we don't see ourselves as an 0-6 team. I think we know we're much better than our record shows.
You guys could be 4-2, 3-3. So very tough losses. But Beaver Nation, here we have some comments here. Scott Stewart that says, AJ, you rock. So Beaver Nation is still behind you. So I do want to, the main thing I want to talk to you about is beginning of the season, you announced on social media that you were doing a project called Punt Away Alzheimer's, and that you would be donating $1 for every yard that you punt this season. And you've been doing that. But tell us about Punt Away Alzheimer's.
Yeah, so the whole idea kind of came from, I don't know if you guys know who Dean Janikowski is. He kicked for Wazoo the past few years. He did the Kicks for Cancer for his mom. And so I thought, I'm gonna play this year. I might as well make it about something and raise some money for a good cause.
And tell us about the story of why this is important to you.
Yeah, my grandma passed away in 2018 from Alzheimer's. I was in 8th grade at the time. So, I mean, it was weird for me because I was pretty young. But having her pass in that way, really, like, I came of age from that. And, like, it was a big moment in my life. But to see such, like, a terrible disease, like she forgot who all of us were. And it really put like life into perspective for me. And I don't wish that disease upon anybody. And I want to help out as much as I can.
Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible disease. And I'm sorry for your loss of your grandma, but I think she's looking down at you right now and she's super proud of what you're doing. So you've come up with this idea. You're punting $1 for every punt. Your goal is $10,000. You're currently at 52, a little over 5,200.
$5,245. Yes.
Okay. How can Beaver Nation help with this cause?
So the donation website, I'll admit, is not perfect, but the idea was hopefully, I mean, anybody can donate any amount they want at any time. It's pretty much like a GoFundMe page. Anybody can donate whenever. But the idea was people could pledge an amount like alongside me. So I'm doing $1, but I thought, and I know some people are not. It didn't get a ton of traction, so I'm hoping this kind of works. But you can donate like a quarter for every yard punted. I haven't been great about it, but usually on my social medias, I'll post like a recap of how many yards I had that game and like a guide for like how much money you would donate based on how many yards I punted. But yeah, the whole idea was that I'm going to donate $1 for every yard I punt that week. And hopefully other people will tag along and donate as much as they can for that week.
So it's like the old school jogathons that we did in elementary school.
Yeah, very similar.
Only you're not pledging laps, you're pledging. Awesome. Well, I'm going to post with this podcast. I will also post links on our YouTube page. I will post it on all our socials, and I'll also post it in the Lodge at Beaver Blitz because I really want to help you get some traction on this because I think it's such a worthwhile cause. And I love it when our student athletes are doing good for beyond just Oregon State football. What do you want to tell? Anything you want to tell the fans? We have lots of people in the comments. Uncle Filthy says we're behind the players. You guys are working. Keep it going. Beavers got to believe. AJ, you've been a standout on this team. Keep it up, man. You're awesome. So Beaver Nation is behind you, and I'd like to do what we can. Guys, do you guys have any questions for AJ?
I think the real one was how do we help, man? Like,
yeah.
So I think you answered that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Getting the word out.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. And like I said, we are going to get that link out so fans can donate and make pledges right alongside you. And hopefully, eventually, we'll see an end to this awful disease. Your family behind you, though, I bet makes your family pretty proud too.
Oh yeah, they definitely backed me when I came to them with the idea, and they're helping me out as much as they can.
Awesome. Well, congrats. Keep up the grind, and we're going to get this word out as much as we can to help to punt away Alzheimer's. So thank you, AJ. We'll let you get back to all the other stuff you got going on as a student athlete, but thank you for joining us, and keep us posted on how it goes, okay?
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Thanks, AJ. Take care. Bye-bye. What a cool story. I wanted to get him on because I would like to help to see him get some traction on this. Because I know Beaver Nation and you guys have stood up for and helped your own before, and what a great cause to do so. And I'm glad we got him on, and we got that, and that now we have a lot of digging into football stuff to talk about, though. But we're gonna have some fun with it too, guys. So, so again, we're gonna talk some App State. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blueprint Sports stuff. I had Brent Blaylock on last Friday for a kind of a special edition podcast. It was just a 25-minute thing we did. Like I said earlier, Spencer's going to talk a little bit about the hoops team. And then we're going to take some damn questions. And then we have a couple other before damn questions. We've got hot takes, which is super fun. And we've been having a lot of fun with that. And we're going to let Davis and Kaz. I'm old and I don't gamble, but we're going to have them talk their locks of the week. So if you're a gambler, a sports gambler, they're going to have some locks of the week for you guys. And I'm sure it's going to be fun. Maybe some back and forths. But let's get started with App State. You guys watch. I know we watched the game because we were all texting during the game. There's a nice little text string going. God, what another brutal loss. So Davis, it was 10-0 before anybody even realized the game had started, I think. What is your biggest takeaway from the game?
I think my biggest takeaway, well, the thing that stood out to me the most was when we ran the same play 3 times.
Yeah.
And it didn't work any of the times. That kind of was the story of the game, I felt like, and kind of the season. I feel like our offense hasn't looked great. Like they've put up solid numbers in games.
Yeah. But
I feel like they aren't controlling the game. They aren't in control when they are on the field.
Correct. Yeah, that 3 in a row, guys. I mean, we were all like, "What are they doing?" And Coach Bray, I thought yesterday was his most honest, upfront press conference that he's had. He was pretty upfront with a lot of things, and he said that was still their best option. Now, what I don't understand, and maybe one of you guys, Coach Bray said that Malik can, because I just thought you put Malik under center and you push him in. I mean, if nothing else, quarterback sneak, push. He's 6'5", like he's going to fall forward and it'd be a touchdown. But he said that Malik couldn't take a snap under center, but yet he can take a shotgun snap. Guys, help me out here. Any idea like why you couldn't take one?
Fast in motion from center to the hand.
Okay, maybe.
Besides that, I don't know.
But the other one's being like shot back at you. Anyway, that was his reasoning behind it, that was their best play to gain, the yard. And it was the offensive line that didn't, push their guys back. At any rate, 3 times it didn't work. And like you said, Davis, that was like the story of the game. I do want to point out, I did think Trent Walker had his best game I've seen as a Beaver. And Jake and I used to go round and around a little bit about this because I think no disrespect to Trent Walker, because I think he's a good receiver, but I never had him as like a elite type receiver. He showed a toughness that I hadn't seen, that I really thought elevated him. I thought he did a really, really good job. I thought Malik put up good numbers, but I thought he was bailed out several times by Eddie Freoff, by Wells, by Trent. That could have been a lot more picks. Kaz, what's your takeaway from App State?
It just seems like we're always playing behind. Like we never have momentum or anything. We're always, even if we're up or close.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were last against Houston 24-10. Yeah.
You still you're scared, and I'm scared as a fan. I'm like, oh, this could go anyway. And it just seems like they are too. Like it just seems like we're always fighting and never have that confidence. And
maybe that's what it is. It's confidence. The to finish. We keep hearing the coaches say finish. Maybe it is just a lack of confidence to finish. Spencer, what are your takeaways from the game?
I felt App State gave us every single chance in the world to win. I think that they got pretty lucky with what we did. The play call was, in the last one, we got to believe Bray to a point, because that was their best 1-yard play that they could come up with, right?
Yeah.
Who am I? I'm not an analytics guy, so who am I to say like, well, he should have tried this? I'm not going to go there, but yeah, I just felt like we gave that one to them. We gave them a game.
But doesn't that feel like what we've seen against Houston, against Fresno State? I think that's where the crux of the frustration lies with Beaver fans right now. Is just the way in which it's happened. And that's where I think now the coaches are coming under fire, is because, yes, players need to make plays, but at the end of the day, when it's the same mistakes or, missteps every week, then coaching comes into play, because there's a disconnect somewhere. In the chat here, Malik needs to plant his damn feet and hit the damn receiver. Yeah, there was a lot of dancing around. Just Malik doesn't look comfortable. And then when he's dancing around, then the ball sails on him. Bray was honest when he said the loss was his fault. I think I call this podcast soul searching, because I think the team is soul searching right now. Fans are soul searching. There's a lot going on. Defensively, what were your takeaways? Did you walk away thinking one way or the other, Davis?
I feel like they played a pretty solid game, in my opinion. They didn't play they didn't play like outstanding defense, but I think they did enough for us to win the game.
Yeah. Kaz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I was solid. It was fine. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah, nothing stood out.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get there. We get through this game, and Sunday afternoon, they announced that Jamie Christian, special teams coordinator, was relieved of his duties. So they fired a coach. Was that enough? And was that too little too late? Kaz, we'll start with you.
Well, I think it was too late, and I don't think it was enough. Okay. I would like to have seen – I would like to seen Gundy go.
Okay.
But
does he need to go, or do you – you do have Danny Langsdorff on staff as an analyst. So do you just move play calling duties?
That was what I was about to say. Or
Okay.
you shift things around either to Langsdorff or Cal he was an OC, wasn't he? Or was it Langsdorff who I'm thinking of?
Langsdorff.
It was
Langsdorff's
Langsdorff?
been
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cav's always been O-line. He might have been an OC long time ago, but yeah, Langsdorff was OC under Riley at Nebraska, at Oregon State,
right.
Temple. He's been in the NFL. I mean, now Beaver fans might cringe but at least he has a lot of experience as an OC. Spencer, what are your thoughts with the firing of Jamie Christian and, was it too little too late? Was there not enough? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, when you listen to Bray, one thing Bray has been very consistent on is how he talks about loyalty.
Yeah.
Like, I am loyal to the players, I'm loyal to the coaches, that sort of thing. So it's my sense, not being in the locker room and knowing not exactly what's going on, is, and Jamie had a good track record. He had success in places. So I think it really just came down to Trent's. I mean, it seems like it came down to Trent's loyalty, and he would fall for these guys as long as he could. That's a really hard question to say. Too late.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but yeah.
Davis, what are you, when I texted you guys on Sunday, what were your thoughts?
I think he did need to go, in my opinion. I think he should have been fired maybe earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, after the Fresno State game, I think you could have had a case for firing him right there. I think there's a lot of changes that need to be done. I think a lot of people want to fire the entire staff. Cass might be one of them.
Cass.
Maybe.
But I think Bray would. I think we should keep, if we do fire everyone, I think keep Bray at defensive coordinator. I think he is a good defensive coordinator and he wants to be here. But
I think Bray too I think he needs to be given a chance to make changes and rearrange things. And because as a first-time head coach, I mean, all coaches get, personnel wrong in certain parts. So they need to be able to make corrections. But does it feel like Barnes maybe came in and maybe is making his voice heard? I mean, that's a fine line to walk as an athletic director, because you want your coach to have autonomy and to make his own decisions, but yet at the end of the day, your job's on the line. It feels like a whole lot of cover your ass going on right now from all levels. Do you think Barnes, kind of came in and dictated some of that? Kaz, we'll start with you.
Possibly. I mean, I think with his letter that he sent out was kind of timely with that decision as well.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance, but
do you guys like that? I mean, do you want your athletic director in there?
Yeah. When it comes to 0-6 and there's been no changes, I think someone needs to do it if it wasn't Bray. So yeah.
Okay, we got Steve Donnie. Why keep Bray? He's failing at recruiting. He's hired 3 failing coordinators, and he's failing at coaching.
He's doing the best he can with the resources he has available to him.
And I would say recruiting, he's done okay. I mean, if you want to knee-jerk, go ahead, Davis.
I was going to say, I think he's done actually pretty solid for recruiting. I mean, the year that Jonathan Smith left, he still ended up recruiting a pretty solid class within only a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I mean, Deegan Rose decommit. I mean, he was getting attention from, there was like whispers of him getting attention from Alabama during spring camp. So, I mean.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough one, even if the Beavs were 4-2 right now. I mean, yes, I know everybody's knee-jerk reaction here with the decommitment there. Now, do they have spots? This is we're going off of topic here, but this is important, I think, because it is something. There's 9 commitments right now. Oregon State has 9 commitments. This weekend, I was told, is not going to be a big recruiting weekend. They'll start bringing in some more official visits for Lafayette. I feel that, and this is kind of across the board, this isn't just Oregon State, prep recruiting is really taking a backseat to portal. So I think, do you guys think that fans are putting too much emphasis on high school recruiting?
Yeah, you can see it with when the Deegan Rose thing came out. I mean, fans were melting down, seeing like pointing at, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's happening in every single program in the country, even the Blue Bloods. And it's I don't know. I just feel like the way college football is trending right now, in 5 years, maybe we're not even talking about recruiting, and it's all about portal.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see.
Gus S in the chat says portal is more important than high school recruits. You don't have to wait on kids to develop anymore. That's what it's going to hurt high school kids. It's going to hit it's going to hurt the lesser developed kids, because no longer does an Oregon State want to take a developmental guy that they might invest 3 years in to get him up to ready to go, and then only to have him poached and paid $1 million by somebody else. So it really is, the portal is. Now, I have my beliefs on what we should be doing in the portal. I don't necessarily think we need to be going to Miami and picking up former 4-star tight ends and Missouri former 4-star linebackers. I would rather see us go after producers at, North Dakota and Montana, and the guys are actually doing, producing there, and get those guys on board. And then also keep some of your rev share for the guys you have developed and keeping them on the roster. That's my thought. Kaz, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't really think about that. I think going to those lower schools and picking up there. But I also think high school is pretty important, because you're not going to pay, unless it's a 5-star, 4-star, you're not going to pay them much out of right off the bat.
Yeah.
And that development can be really good. Like the Cal's quarterback, true freshman.
Yeah.
Look at him. Freshmen can actually play really well. And so I think it's as important as the portal.
Yeah. Yeah. Spencer, you have anything on that?
Yeah, I feel like it's a money ball approach, right? For those who are into baseball and know what that means. But yeah, it's like you get the guys that fit your program. And let's face it, Oregon State isn't splashy right now. We're not killing. We don't have the marketing that other programs have, and we can't attract these kids just based on the marketing thing. Like we are. That's why I like Trent Bray so much. He embodies what Beaver Nation is, right? And so, like, for Trent, to trust Trent to go out and find those undervalued guys, maybe to FCS or even D2 level, and bring them up. That seems to me like a better model for long-term success.
Yeah. Our good friend Mark Garland. Hey, Mark, how are you? He says you need to find some playmakers at the junior college and lower levels. Bring those guys in to build. Not enough money to get the big-time freshman recruits. And I would say that's totally 1,000% right. And Oregon State's never been, even before NIL and rev share, were they getting the major recruits. So, it's going to be an interesting time, because now we are kind of shifting into that recruiting model or recruiting mode alongside regular recruiting. So they actually did Moneyball. Was it a Moneyball approach to give 2 backup tight ends $500,000? Bad money management and talent ID makes me again ask why Bray is succeeding at head coach.
Well, it wasn't. That was not an example of that. So he's correct.
Yeah. And then, Riley Williams is injured, so you can't really go, you can't hold that against a guy that's hurt and can't participate. So the money ball is an interesting, and that's, I think, where, Todd McShane and the personnel department is at. That's why they're so into measurables. They're into height, weight, different speed, arm, wingspan, all of it. And then watching the film and really dialing that in. Like I said, recruiting is going to start picking up next week. I expect a lot more official visits coming to town for these last couple games of the season. So it's going to pick up. And then they also announced today a single transfer, a portal window in January. So no longer that spring portal window. It's going to get crazy busy. I hope everybody's ready for a crazy busy January, because it's going to get wild. But that's where we're at. So halfway through the season, we'll wait till a bye to kind of dig deep. But I think I'm safe to say we're all disappointed with where the team is right now.
Sure. Yeah.
doesn't take a rocket scientist to say. This question was posed to me by John Canzano yesterday. I posed it to the lodge. I just want to pose it to you guys. If Oregon State, with these remaining 6 games, wins 4 or 5 games, does that change your feelings on this season, or is it kind of like the firing, too little, too late?
I feel like the wins are great, but if the effort is there, then that sells hope for the following year, and then it sells hope to the recruits to stay where they're at.
Okay, Davis, how about you? So you want to see how they win, and you want to see domination.
Yeah, I want to,
Spencer,
but I want
okay.
to see like guys like committed to the program, and
Okay.
like a Trent Walker did last weekend at App State.
Got it. Okay, Davis.
Yeah, I mean, the back half of the schedule is not necessarily like good teams as well.
Yeah.
So like as someone looking at our schedule and they look at if we do win the remainder of our games, they look at 6-6. Our losses are to pretty solid teams, but the wins, they might not be great teams. But if they are like blowout wins and we can end up getting fan engagement and getting Reeser actually packed, then I think it's a really good end of the season. Just fan engagement in general needs to be like at a high.
It was because it was super disappointing for Houston. Friday night makes it tough. Kaz, what are your thoughts?
I'm still standing on the reset no matter what.
Yeah. Kaz is done. Like, so would it make it easier if they did not win very many games? You think that makes it? I mean, you see what I'm saying? So if they go out and they win 5 games, does that make the, we don't need change, we got to give him more time crowd a little more vocal? I mean,
maybe, but I think honestly, just bring in some coach that makes things more exciting.
Okay.
So even if you go 5-7, 6-6, I like Davis's point. I agree. I think you should actually think about keeping Bray on the staff as a DC. I mean, he's proven that he can do it at a very high level. I just think we got to bring in some new coach that, adds a little pizzazz and, maybe change the recruiting trail. But yeah, I think we got to change some things up no matter the record.
We're shaking it up with Kaz.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. It's something to talk about. I mean, there's been a lot to talk about though, along with Beaver fans lately. Last week, you guys, I know we were all kind of reading about all this with the whole Blueprint Sports NIL model. And, oh, yes, Gus asked this too. Sorry, we're going to go back to this, the whole Bray staying as DC. He said, why do people think Bray would do that? It seems nuts to me. Why do you guys think he would stay?
Because he's Oregon State through and through.
Okay. You don't think that's weird? You don't think that would be a weird dynamic?
Might be a little strange, but
I guess you could shape it of, hey, I stepped in when Oregon State needed me to step in as a head coach, but this isn't, my heart is being, I guess that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
If that's where his mind is. Okay. Sorry for that little, so he goes, Smith was due. Smith was an Oregon State guy too. I don't know. Well, Smith.
Not as much as Bray.
No, exactly. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about this Blueprint Sports, because I don't know how many of you guys saw. I sat down with the Deputy Athletic Director, Chief of Staff, or Chief Operating Officer, Brent Blaylock, on Friday to do a quick, it blew up, this contract. Sportico did an article that Oregon State had signed a deal with Blueprint Sports, NIL, that they would be managing NIL. They would have staff in Corvallis, and that the first $750,000 raised by Blueprint Sports would go to Oregon State, and after that, $750,000 to $1.15 million would be 75% would go to Blueprint Sports, and then beyond that, a 50-50 split. Beaver fans freaked out, which I get, because they're taking they bought Damnation from Kyle Bjornstad. So the one takeaway I got, and I don't want to get in the weeds here. We've talked about it a ton. But the one thing I do want to bring up to fans who is to remember this. So back the past couple of years, NIL was the quote pay to play. NIL, donors gave money to NIL, and the NIL divvied it out to the players. They gave the 1.5 to Malik. They gave the So it's different now. NIL with the house settlement. So NIL now it has to be run through a clearinghouse. It has to be legit business deals, name, image, and likeness. So, you would put in I can give Spencer Newell $100,000 if he comes and does some, promotional things for my business, or what have you. It's all name, image, and likeness based. The new, and I hate to call it pay for play, but where donors can make an impact is now through rev share, and that was being run through our Beaver Nation in the foundation. So I think where fans were getting in the mud was the fact that they're like, I don't want to give our Beaver or Damnation run by Blueprint Sports. I don't want to give them $100 a month and have them take 75 of it. That's not what I want to do. I get that. So, but what you want to do is you want to give to our Beaver Nation for the rev share part. And that's where the rev share is the new, where they can make payments to players. Does that make sense? And I don't know why that wasn't clearer from the get-go, but I think at the end of the day, it's not quite as big of an issue as everybody made it out to be. You guys agree?
One of the biggest points that I took away from that was I donate to Damnation, every month. And I saw a lot of backlash from fans saying, well, I'm canceling my donation. I'm canceling my membership, thinking that that was under the Blueprint thing, right? But it's not. Like that membership base, or like the money I pay to Damnation, goes straight to the players. Blueprint doesn't touch it. Is that correct?
Well, that's what they say, but that's not the way the contract is. So Blaylock said to me, that is the intent. The intent is that any membership, but I don't believe, and I don't know. I mean, he said that that's the way it's going to be, but I don't think that's in writing. So the skeptic in me is kind of like, okay, I don't know if that's, like I said, the intent is there, but that is beyond, like I said, I think that as a fan, you might want to do a little more research on that. They say that's the intent, but I don't know. I only saw the 4 pages of the contract, so I can't speak on everything, but per the 4 pages, that's not how I interpreted it. But Blaylock said that was the intent, of the deal. So from my standpoint, if I don't donate, if I would funnel my money through the foundation. And you can either do it's internally, but you either give to our Beaver Nation for scholarships or our Beaver Nation for rev share. And so that's, if you are giving and you want that money, you want to know that money's going to the student athletes. That would be my best takeaway. And maybe I'm wrong too. And maybe Oregon State will call me out on that, but that's kind of how I understood the interview.
Okay.
So they are still doing, Damnation is doing a membership portion. Like I said, they say its intent is to do that. So hopefully that's on. I just am always skeptical on everything unless it's spelled out in contract terms. But beyond that, like I said, I don't think it was quite as big a deal as everybody made it out. I see Blueprint as the external helping connect maybe some bigger ticket NIL stuff. They can get the hang on just a second. Mark Garland says the contract isn't working that way to my understanding. The intent is for the money to go to players. But realistic view, Blueprint could take 75%. Revenue share donations will go to the general fund, I believe. It is all cloudy and muddy. I'm gonna hop on. We could look at our Beaver Nation and just see if we can do that. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's kind of and it's not just Oregon State. This whole NIL rev share, everybody's figuring it out. So it's still a little bit of the wild, wild west. But the NIL portion is now a little more controlled in that, Davis is going to need to have like a legit business purpose instead of just, Oregon State gave me $1.5 million and I'm going to sign 10 posters. So you're going to have it's going to have to be like market value. And, the way it kind of came across to me is it's kind of like a modeling agency. They're basically, they have, they can have deals with McDonald's and Coca-Cola, maybe that they're spreading out to all their clients. And Coke might say, I need quarterbacks from all your clients. will pay this much. And then they run the clearinghouse, do all the documentation, all the administrative stuff. That's how I took it. Like I said, I don't think it's quite as big a deal as it kind of got blown up to be, but that's just kind of my take on it. If you haven't watched it, I did do a sit down, like I said, with Brent Blaylock. I encourage you to watch it. It's on our YouTube channel because you can hear him in his own words exactly. And then you can interpret how you want to interpret it. Okay, enough about that. I want to talk to Spencer. Spencer, talk to me. You went and spent Monday with the men's basketball team. You're working more on some more of the more behind the scenes. Talk to us about the men's basketball team.
So my guess is that when preseason rankings come out for West Coast Conference, the Beavers are going to be somewhere from middle to middle back.
Yeah.
The same thing happened last year, and Wayne Tinkle went out, scoured the globe, and brought in all these guys that we had no idea who they were. We couldn't pronounce their names, and the sentiment was, oh, here we go, right? Well, he won 20 games with that crew. This year, the exact same thing happened. He did the exact same thing, went out and got guys all over the globe, and these guys are studs. He's got some shooters on he's got some shooters on the team. Probably more so than in the past. Like this kid, Des White, is going to remind people of Jordan Pope for sure. Yak, who's like, I don't know why he's my favorite. Maybe it's because of his name. Also because of his personality. But he's power forward. He plays middle. He's got 7'3" wingspan. He is just athletic. And he's just really fun to watch. Kind of harkens back to when Maxime Logie was had that breakout game. Like I saw a lot of that in Yak. I'll just call him Yak. But and the guards that Wayne brought in were, Keziah Kesey. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Malcolm Christie, who was a pain in the butt when we played Oakland in the Diamond Head Classic last year. He scored 18 points. Now he's on our side. These kids are shooters, and they are very, very athletic. They're getting faster. One of the things I noticed the most from being in practice in August versus now is these kids are faster, especially the bigs. This kid, Noah Amenhauser, he's 7'2", came from Coastal Carolina. Like, he's probably improved the most speed-wise. I mean, things are lining up, and I'm not going to make a prediction on where they'll be at the end of the year. But one thing is for sure, that every time I've talked to the kids and I've cross-referenced that with Coach Tinkle himself, this group is selfless. Tinkle said on Rod Callen during the game last week or 2 weeks ago, this team is selfless. Everyone I've talked to, there's been no chink in the armor. There's been no deviation from that message. And I really feel it. I feel like they're not just telling me that, it's for real. So I cannot wait for these guys to tip off in November. It's the tip-off dinner is tomorrow, actually, at 8:00 up in Portland.
Okay.
I don't have the info right off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm very excited for this group. They can play.
That's awesome. And so what is practice like? I mean, what is the chemistry with these guys? Do you feel like they have a pretty good bond?
100%. They've got this thing when a player falls to the ground, even if they're in mid play, like simulations, that sort of thing, the entire team will run to that player and help him up. Not one person takes a break from that. Okay. And like when you watch, especially with all the guards and this new kid, Malcolm, who came from Oakland, like when you watch him and Dez and JoJo and Kez all communicate with each other, like they're communicating with their eyes, they're communicating verbally, like they seem like they're more in sync. Well, they're definitely more in sync than they were in August. But like if you keep the trajectory going, I think this team could be sneaky good, and it's going to surprise a lot of people, just like last year.
So it'll be fun to watch. And if you haven't been reading, I know men's basketball is not a huge draw right now, but Spencer's been doing a really, really amazing job with his backstories, where he really sits down. These aren't just quick interview, quick hits. These are sitting down with these players and really kind of getting a backstory on them and how they grew up and where they grew up. Some really interesting stories. He's done that with some women's basketball players. He's done that with some football players. It's a really fun feature. If you're not reading it, you're missing out. And we have been making those outside the paywall, so all Beaver fans can read those, because I think it's important that everybody gets to to read some of this stuff. It's great work, Spencer. So thank you giving up your time too to go hang out with the players, and we totally appreciate all that you're doing. It's a super fun addition to Blitz. Okay, we've had a super fun show, but now you know what? It's one of my favorite things. And this was a Cass special hot takes. I love our hot takes. I just get to sit back and like watch the fun unfold. Davis, you missed it last week.
Yeah.
Should we make Davis go first this week, guys?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's make Davis go first. Davis, hot take time. We need a sponsor for hot takes, and then I need to like play fun music or something. Let's hear it, Davis. What's your hot take?
Hot take is I think Scott Barnes is probably the biggest reason the Beavers are failing.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I had a tough time coming up with one, but I mean, I do think the way our athletic department has just been on the decline, I think. I don't think, I mean, our only sport that we're like really deemed.
You're not alone here in the comments. I'm just popping up. K Mills just at 100%.
Only sport we're deemed as like a competitive sport right now is baseball, like in those top three sports.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like he hasn't done much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Scott Barnes has been taking a beating in the lodge.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say that it's unwarranted at all. I have some questions, and I think there's some of them. But I was thinking last night, and this is, I guess, this is the soft woman part of me, right? That I start kind of feeling bad about somebody just kind of getting beat. To be fair, I wouldn't wish what he's gone through the past couple years on anyone. Trying to come up with a schedule, cobble together 2 years schedule, trying to figure out the Pac-12. I mean, but at the same time, has his attention to the Pac-12 and trying to keep that together. Has that taken his eye off the ball of his main job at Oregon State? I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. I've reached out, and actually, we'll see if it happens. But I'm totally up for having Scott Barnes on the podcast and letting him have a place to talk about a lot of the things that fans are upset about. We'll see if that happens, if we can make something work. But total hot take. That is a hot take. Kaz, what are your thoughts on Davis's hot take? Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, we're not going to smack down disagree?
No, because
Okay.
I'm full with the reset, and I think it starts with Barnes as well. So
the nuclear option is still well and alive with Kaz right now.
yeah.
Spencer, what are your thoughts?
I don't think we know enough to really make a decision one way or the other. So much stuff happens behind the scenes that, I'm willing to bet as fans we see maybe 20% of it, what's going on.
Yeah.
If that, right? And so that's a whole another 80% of stuff that's happening that we just don't know and we're not privy to. So I'm not a nuclear option like Cass or Davis. Well, Davis, were you nuclear or semi-nuclear?
Semi.
No, because
Okay.
he wants Bray to stay on his DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So that's not. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Okay, Spencer, let's hear your hot take.
Both the men's and women's basketball teams are going to go very deep into the West Coast Conference tournament with potential NCAA bids for both.
Okay, look at that. That's bold. Kaz, are you just gonna beat the same hot take every week?
No, I got a lot, but I'm trying to stay a little more positive today. And
no
gears.
way!
Come on, man.
Come on! This
I'm
is
going.
your chance to let it fly.
I know. I'm going with Spencer here. I think the Beaver men's basketball team will win 20+ games this year.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're going to do it again. Just from what Spencer has told me. Besides that, I have no clue what's going on. But
I know Spencer's got it's a definite buy right now.
Yeah.
Spencer has everyone buying Beaver basketball. Okay, so what are your thoughts? I mean, so is seriously Davis the only one that's going like controversial here?
I mean, I have a lot, but
well, give me another one then. Let's just get another one. We got a little bit of time.
I think that the next 6 years for football will be the most important 6 years in program history.
Okay, I actually completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the TV contracts are up 2032, and pretty positive on this take that there will be more conference realignment.
Yeah.
We need to make a push within, I'd say that like last 4 years. We have a 2-year buffer, I think, to be, in the top 25, if not making, conversations for the G5 bid to hopefully be in the top conference realignment and maybe make a push for whatever that looks like.
I absolutely completely agree with you because I think we are going to see more realignment. We're going to see, I still think my hot take is that we're going to see the split of the Big Ten and SEC off into their own deal. But I also think that means them splintering off a few of their lower level programs because they don't want to share the money with some of those programs. We are going to see more. So the next 6 years are absolutely the most critical. And I think I do agree with you. I mean, the next 2 years I think is a little more buffer, but
for sure.
by year 3 years from now, we damn well better be in contention for, some bowl games and
Yeah, we got to be hunting around the top 25, if not like top 30 teams. And we can totally
and we need fans and the fans need to be there. I mean, this is another whole, and we'll have some damn questions on that a little bit, but that's it. I see fans right now are so mad and they're like, I don't want to go. I get it. Watching these games is horrible, but it's a double-edged sword, right? Because as a fan, you're disgruntled and you're like, well, I'm going to show the athletic department. I'm just not going to go to games. But then that just hurts the whole entire program even more. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. And when apathy sets in, then you're back to the losing eons.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've seen boycott posts about going to homecoming and don't go to the game. That's like the last thing the players need. Like they need support to keep going. And so like to not show up just because you're pissed personally, like that's think about the players. Really think about the players.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people talk about the coaches. Coaches aren't trying to lose. I mean, if you guys think these guys are okay with that, it's again, some of them are Beaver players, former players themselves. This is not what they are, they're competitors. They're not like, how can we lose this week? But yeah, I get the frustration. I get it from all the fans. But like I said, at the same time, you start not showing up to games, you become less desirable. You're not watching on TV. So then when realignment is coming, it just adds fuel to, well, we don't need Oregon State because they don't show up and they don't watch the games anyway. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you to do something, but something to think about. Okay. And like you said, the players, end of the day. We have another, Kaz is just full of all these good ideas. I love it. He's like shaking up the damn podcast, which is awesome because right now we really don't want to talk X's and O's about what went wrong because it's not fun. So Kaz wanted to bring up locks of the week. So if you guys are into sports betting, Kaz and Davis are going to take this because unless Spencer has something, I do not have anything. I told these guys, and I probably shouldn't say this like publicly because it's kind of embarrassing, but I struggle from time to time remembering if the plus is a favorite or a dog. So that is how bad I am. So I'm staying out of this discussion. We're going to let Kaz go first.
All right, I got 4. They're all college football games. Starting Friday night, Fresno State at Colorado State. Fresno State is -6.5.
So that means
they're favorite 6.5.
Okay.
So I think I'm taking the 6.5 Fresno State. I think they're gonna win by at least 7. I think if it was at 7, I probably wouldn't take it, but that half point is solid. And Colorado State's they're behind us in special teams.
Okay.
EFF, I think.
Hey, fans. Hey, I just want to bring something up. Kaz did say last week that Oregon State was going to win by 21. So
okay. Whoa, wait. I'm very optimistic about the Beavers, but my other teams I'm a little better at.
Okay. Anyway,
I promise.
Sorry. I got to talk a little smack.
Yeah, no, I got to clear the air.
Yeah, okay.
So first one, Fresno State, take the 6.5. They're going to win by more. Second one, Missouri versus Alabama, over on points, 51.5.
Okay.
Missouri's averaging like 45.2 points per game. Alabama's at 27.5. I don't see why this isn't going over. They're both firing. Amon Hardy from Mizzou's could win the Heisman, one of the best running backs in the country. Ty Simpson's playing great. I think this is going to be a shootout.
Okay.
And then Texas Tech versus Kansas. Texas Tech is favored by 13.5. They're going to win by more than 13.5. The line last week against Houston was 12.5 or something. They beat them by like 20.
Good, by the way.
Yes, yeah. Texas Tech, they're the best team in the Big 12, and I think they're going to smack Kansas. Last one, Penn State versus Northwestern. Penn State, 21.5 point favorites, and I'm taking that they're going to cover that.
Okay.
They got retro uniforms, and another hot take that's not Beaver football related. I think Penn State's actually in a good position to do some good things for the rest of the season. I think the 2 losses fired them up, and we could see them being 9-3, 10-2, and maybe a conversation for a bid at the college football playoff.
Really? Okay. Got it.
So those are my locks.
Okay, those are the locks. You heard it here. Should I bet the kids college tuition money that I've got saved up?
I probably won't do that, but maybe put a little bit on it.
Okay, Davis, what are your locks?
I'd have straight money line, so just who will win the game.
Okay.
I have Washington at minus 485 to beat Rutgers. And then I have Florida State to beat Pitt at minus 455. And then I have an underdog. I'm betting Maryland over Nebraska. I think Malik Washington, Maryland's quarterback, I think he's a stud. I'm pretty sure he's a true freshman. But, yeah, he's been playing really well. And then the Texas Tech, I'm taking them to beat Kansas.
Okay.
And then I have USC to beat Michigan.
Okay. You guys are going to have to explain that whole money line and the minus 485 and all that to me someday off the record because I don't know what that means.
We got you.
So you gotta help me. We're going to have like, I'll buy dinner and you guys explain it to me. It's all going to be good. Spencer, do you have any? Did you do any research or you're sitting?
Have you seen my picks this year? My picks have been terrible.
Might have been worse than yours.
They're so bad.
I'm still out here.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about it, so we're just gonna roll. Nobody wanted to tackle that Indiana-Oregon game.
That's going either Indiana's blowing them out or Oregon's blowing them out. I think.
Okay.
I think it's,
okay, I just thought of a hot take, but I do think Oregon and Ohio State are like 2 of the best teams in the country right now. But I think Ohio State is like
completely agree.
Everybody.
I agree. And Miami.
And Miami's in there too. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I get my hot takes later. Things pop in my head. This is what, being old does. Okay. We have a couple damn questions I grabbed from the lodge and we almost are out of time, but Hopeful 2019 says, Angie, you've spent a lot of time around many OSU teams and coaching staffs over the years. What makes this team stand out or feel different from the others? So my feeling on this is there's a lot of talent on this team. And, so I was in college during the 1990s, back in the Jerry Pettibone bad years. And there were some talented players, but as a whole, this team is way more talented than any team that has had a losing record that I've been around. Lots of talent on this team. You know what feels the biggest difference, though, for me is the fact that when you were in the Pac-12, you always had that you could recruit guys who maybe like you look at a Jamar Jefferson, and Jamar Jefferson was overlooked by USC, so you could go out and recruit him and say, hey, come to Oregon State and you're going to play against USC. So you had some of that. And then back when we were really bad, like in the 90s, you always had Civil War to look forward to because it was going to be a good game. Neither team was very good. So you had that to look forward to. Now I think it feels kind of like a rudderless ship. You're kind of like, okay, we're playing a random schedule that will get better next year, but it does feel different in that it feels disjointed, I guess. It feels disjointed on the field. It feels disjointed with the fan base. And I'm hopeful that next year when you start getting a new Pac-12, it feels more together. But that's my take. But my biggest takeaway is that Oregon State has talent. There are talented players. People say that Coach Bray can't recruit, and like Davis said, I don't agree with that. I think there's some really talented players on this team. So that's my take on that. Dad of two Beavs, if you had a do-over for the season, what would you have done differently? So give something besides firing coaching staff. What would you have done different? Would you have started somebody different? Would you have maybe picked the Beavs to, we all saw some fall camp stuff. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I would say play Jabari more from the get-go.
Yeah, we saw it during camp. I mean, Davis, you were at spring and fall. Spring Malik did not look good. He overthrew guys. Fall, he was looking better, but we've all commented how much better Jabari looked than last year. And I think we all just figured Malik would settle in. So.
Yeah, I mean, throughout spring and fall camp, Jabari Johnson looked like the better quarterback. I mean, you're not going to sit a $1.5 million quarterback. Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, like Malik was more of he had a higher ceiling, I think, at least for this season.
Well, he has a stronger arm.
Yeah, I mean, he just has better physicals.
Yeah.
But I do think Jabari Johnson I like that. I like play Jabari Johnson more.
Okay.
But, and also if we're thinking about like how far are we going back and starting over, because if we're going back to like transfers, I mean, just heavy transfer offensive linemen.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And Gus S in the chat said that too. Maybe skip out those two tight ends and grab some O-linemen. Kaz, what would you have changed?
I agree with Gus, O-lineman, for sure. And then I think you put Gundy, just QB coach. Bring him back to QB coach, no OC, and then Langsdorff becomes the OC. That's what I would have done differently.
Okay. Do you think
he had some?
Would you do that now? I mean, do you think it's too late to do that?
No, I don't. And I mean, he had some pretty good years with DTR at UCLA. Dante Moore, kind of. He was injured and either in between. Garbers came in, but he's proven that he can, mold some quarterbacks to be okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's too late to do that this year either. I mean, it might be a little weird, but
yeah. I'm back with the O-line, but okay. So this is just a hypothetical then. It feels like everybody's now, like I said, they're CYA, but it's also, I mean, they're now coaching for their jobs. I feel like do you go ahead and just figure not bench Malik, but just go ahead and say, screw it. And we're going to play Jabari Moore. What do you think?
Maybe.
I'd love to see Tristan Theobald.
I'd like to see him big time.
Yeah. Just throw caution to the wind. Just whoever's playing best that week in practice, just throw them out there.
Nothing to lose at this point.
I mean, can't get much worse.
No. So, try everything.
Okay, there it is. Anonymous. I've been a supporter of Barnes for a while. Many pundits last year said this schedule Barnes produced was going to be disastrous for OSU. Another blunder by Barnes. Your thoughts on the schedule?
I mean, he had very little to work with. So it's we're playing Lafayette.
Yeah, and Sam Houston. Yeah.
He did the best he could from my perspective on putting together a schedule. How about that?
Well, because the schedules are put out. I mean, God, we have schedules out into 2030, 2032 already. So the non-conference games. What are your thoughts, Kaz?
I think he did as best as he could. I mean, we were considered an independent. There was schedules were pretty much already made for people in conferences as well as, everything else. So he did what he could. And at the start of the season, it seemed like a pretty favorable schedule to, make a run for a 9-3, 10-2 season like we all thought. So,
yeah.
I mean,
we all talked about that. We talked about that at the beginning of the season, how the first 4 games were super hard, and you get through that gauntlet, and then you And I think we all came out like, okay, if Oregon State can finish the first 4 games 2-2, then the second half, that second 8 games looks more favorable. But maybe you don't come into play then the mental aspect of that and how that plays, that tough schedule. But then you sit back and you also look, Cal was winnable. Fresno, they should have beat. I mean, they should have beat Cal, or Fresno, they should have beat Houston, and they should have beat App State. So that's the whole nother situation. But if they had, though, I mean, then the argument would be made that, well, they had a tough enough schedule that potentially they could have snuck a invite into the, into the, potentially. So I don't know. I'm with Spencer Davis, Cat. I mean, Barnes did the best he could with the little time, the short time, the trying to cobble it together, the best he could. So, and then Go Beavs 98 was, how bad is the recruiting outlook for this upcoming class now that the top high school prospects have decommitted? Will it be a full reset through the portal? Next year looks even more bleak to me based on what I've seen recruiting wise. Yeah, we kind of touched on that. I don't get down on commits right now based on high school recruits. You're gonna see a lot of portal guys. I mean, everywhere in the country. I mean, the portal is going to be active. So that's the one takeaway. Anybody else have anything to add on that?
Go ahead, Spencer.
No, go.
Well, I would say that I think this offseason, the coaching carousel is going to be pretty nutty. And that will come with lots of players leaving those schools, following coaches going elsewhere. So I think there's going to be a lot of portal guys and guys that might slip through the cracks. And if we do get another coach, we could get some players from said school.
Like Indiana. Remember when Indiana?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Spencer. You had something too.
Well, and you can probably speak more to the recruits than I can. I've just recently been chatting more with Skylar, and Skylar's mom, his little brother's coming, but he's also apparently he's on a weekly call with like 3 of the other recruits down in California, and they all talk about how excited they are for to become a Beaver. And that's, from what I can tell, that's stayed consistent. So like there is consistency in the recruiting class that we just may not see on the surface.
Yeah. And Spencer actually reached out to me this morning when Rose had decommitted, and he said, was this a surprise? And so I do I touch base with the recruits each week, or the commits each weekend, to find out the following the future we do. And it's so funny because it's like clockwork. Some guys just don't ever respond, and that's just kind of the way it is. And you just kind of go with it. Rose had been responding to me every week, and it stopped about 3 weeks ago. He just stopped. And so you kind of see the writing on the wall there. You're like, okay, but everybody else has been good. Now, some of them don't get included into my Monday write-up because they get back to me late. But for the most part, the guys who have always been responding have been responding. So that's usually a pretty good sign. Okay, you guys, we did it. Another episode of the Damn Podcast. If you started with us at the beginning, we did welcome AJ Winsor. He spoke to us about his punt away Alzheimer's. I am going to share the links for that because I think it's super important. I think he would be so appreciative if Beaver Nation's helped and stepped up and helped pledge or donate some money to that worthy cause for his grandma, in memory of his grandma. It was super fun to have him, and I will work to get more guests on the Damn Podcast each week. But I think it was a good discussion, guys. We just have to go out and win one this week. We have Kaz sitting with us in the press box this week. Super excited to have you in there. And we'll be back next week, hopefully talk about a win for another episode of the Damn Podcast.
Come on, baby.